Hey, it is Wednesday. I know you feel blessed and refreshed. I'm back with another one, and today we are on day three of this week's topic. This week we've been talking about how to stop yelling at our kids because uh, it's unhealthy. At the end of the day, it's unhealthy, and most of the time, kids are just being kids. Most of the time, we are just being parents, or we're just being uh, guardians, and we could have things going on, and it could be us and not them. So I appreciate you all for joining me this morning, and all of you who have joined me all week so far. It's been really good, I think. Good morning, Mr. Terry. Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you putting all the broadcasts there. Please thumbs up. Please subscribe. Yes, thank you so much. Hey, Frugal Mama. Good morning. Hey, Steve Gilmore. My brother's here. Thank God for Jesus. Hey, man. I love your comments in the morning. Morning, Sissy. Morning, Tamika. Good to see you. So, as always, we're going to keep it short for those coming back on the replay. So, I know some are wondering, why is this even a topic? Why are we talking about yelling at our kids? Because I think it is a thing, and it's a thing that we're all, we've all just really grown accustomed to, honestly. And I'm not perfect. I'm definitely working on this myself, which is why I feel like it's purposeful to come and talk about it. So, hopefully, you've gotten some type of encouragement so far. Monday, we talked about the triggers, knowing our triggers, and knowing that we can give our kids warnings and let our kids know that they're about to get in trouble if they don't stop what they're doing. On Tuesday, we talked about putting ourselves in timeout to just simply walk away from whatever's going on instead of losing all control. And then we talked about having a yes list for ourselves, things that we like to go do just to take our minds off of, what the kids might be doing at the moment. Today, as you can see by the title, we're going to jump into teaching them later, and we're going to talk about practicing normal behavior. I spelled practice wrong. uh, Thank you. Yep, thank you so much. I hope, because it has definitely helped me. So the reason why yelling is not a good thing. Like, there's a difference between screaming and yelling at our kids. We should be talking to them in a soft voice, a mellow tone, unless something is happening, unless they're in danger, right? Because otherwise, we're scaring our kids, and we don't want to make them feel scared in a way that um, they don't want to learn from what they did. They don't want to fix what they did, but now they're just going to do it because they're scared. And you don't want them. You want your child to have a little bit of fear in them because you are their parent, but at the same time, there's a certain type of fear. And I think that yelling just brings out the wrong, the wrong type of fear. So, um, really learning ourselves, really knowing ourselves, and knowing that we might have some things going on and that we just need to take a step back is going to be beneficial in the long run. So, like I said, I don't yell. I don't yell anymore unless something is happening, unless they are in danger or something. But just think about all the times that the kids might be fighting with each other, or they might have attitude because they've had a bad day, or maybe you got a toddler who likes to throw things in the toilet, or maybe you got a teenager who likes to go lock themselves in a room and don't want to talk to you. Whatever the case might be to cause frustration to being a parent, these tips, is a total of 10. We're breaking down two a day, will definitely make a difference for you because they made a difference for me. So 80% of life is not what happens, but how you react. The other 20% is beyond your control. Yeah, how you react to a situation can be as deadly as the situation itself. I know that's right. Absolutely. Hey, bro, chef. Thanks for coming in. Morning. So let's talk about teaching the lesson later. And some of these things, like yesterday when we talked about um, having a yes list for ourselves, some things that we might not even think about if we are raised a certain type of way. If we are old school parents, we're gonna say that this is what it is, and you better do what I say, and that's it, or you in trouble. And I know, but I think it just makes you have a better relationship with your child. It really um, it shows them that you're concerned about them when you pull them in, when you um, try to get down to the bottom of why they got an attitude instead of shouting at them for their attitude and telling them that I am the boss and you better get it together. No, there's a reason why they're doing that. So I want to get down to the bottom of that. So that hopefully is where we're going to go with this. So if we teach the lesson later, um, that just means what it means. Because if you think about it, I remember, um, I remember when I was raising my oldest, I used to, I think, I don't know if I was told, like my mom told me, or a sibling told me, like somebody older in the family suggested that if my oldest do something wrong, she need to be punished right then and there. Otherwise, she's not going to remember what she did, and it's not going to be fair later. Well, I think that that is a myth. And I think that's a myth because um, kids are smart. Kids are very smart. They're very resilient, especially nowadays. They're like coming out doing things that we never thought that they would do, right? So we want to expect that our kids are smarter than we think. It seems like every year, each generation, these kids are coming out even more brilliant. So let's give our kids a little more credit and be like, okay, um, you know, my child is old enough to remember, especially if they're about maybe 3, let's say. I mean, little ones, they're different. Maybe one, that's different. But 3 years old, they know what they did on the way home from school in the car. They made that big mess, and now that we're at home, now I need to teach them how to clean up that mess and not yell and scream at them right now for making a mess that I'm not even going to clean up because I'm driving. See what I'm saying? So I think it's a myth to punish them later. I think that I mean, that to punish them now. And I'm not saying punish, I mean like teach a lesson because it doesn't always require a punishment. The kids could just be uh, innocent. They could not know. They could have forgot, especially if they're teenagers or preteens. I have a preteen almost. She'll be 12. And sometimes she tells me, I just forgot. And I'm just like, what? How can you forget? Is what I'm thinking. But it's possible because they're kids. They got a lot of things going on through their mind. They might have had a long day at school. They might be dealing with some bullies. Who knows, right? So when they say they forgot, they probably just did. And that's okay. I'm going to remind you, and I'm going to remind you, and I'm going to remind you as many times as I need to. And I'm going to also let you know, teach the lesson that you can't keep saying that you forgot. Some things are very important and you need to remember. I bet if it was a song, have you heard this? My mom used to say it to me all the time. I bet if it was a song on the radio, you would remember. So shouting and yelling is not always communicating. We just got to communicate with our kids. We got to keep it straight up. We got to just talk to them. And when we start yelling and shouting at them, it makes them shut down. It makes them completely shut down. They are scared because you're yelling. They might be mad because you're yelling. At this point, they just want you to stop yelling. So what? What do you want me to do? Okay, I'm done it. It's over. No, have we really taught a lesson? And I'm learning this life. This life is all about wisdom. It's not about the feel good moments. It's about actually learning something, teaching something. So, um, teaching a lesson later, it could be hard to wait because you got all these frustrations going on through you. But again, we talked about all week self control is going to be our best friend trying to change our aspect. We really want to change our mindset. We really want to change how we've been showing up and things like that. It's just take some self control and prayer, right? It's the only thing that's going to work. And, once you've taken time to calm down and wait, knowing your triggers, right? Giving them the warning and all that, now you could come back and teach the lesson. The teaching moment comes after you've been able to calm down, right? So then you'll be able to talk to the kids. And I don't know, like when I have to sit my oldest down and teach a lesson, eventually that lesson turns into a laughing moment, because after I've taught her the lesson and I've told her what it is, I might try to break the ice. I don't want her to think that she's in trouble. I don't want her to think that she's at the principal's office. I'm her mama, and she might have made a mistake. We taught a lesson. We talked about it, but now I'm gonna break the ice, and I'm gonna say, "Well, you should have saw your face when you got in trouble," or silly. Just that's just how we are, and that breaks the ice. It's gonna make her laugh. All right, Mr. Terry says, "Show up better for my family. It's Glacia's moment to start my day. Time to myself." Yes. Keep the bills. Oh, okay. Your anxiety and stress. Amen. We must remember communication is a two-way street and not a one-way road. Communication consists of speaking, but more importantly, listening. Yes. Good morning, Ken. Great morning to you. So good to see you, and I hope you're well. So, excuse me. So, with that, um, well, it looks like that was the end of that. Now, let's talk about practice or yeah, practicing normal behavior. Normal behavior just meaning that kids are kids, you know, and that is one of the biggest things that I had to learn for myself. Anybody who has known me this year or almost a year that I've been on, or I've been here over a year, but you know what I mean. If you know me to know me from a while ago, and you know that I have trouble realizing that kids are just gonna be kids. I cannot keep being frustrated or altering my adventures, whatever it is that I'm doing, right? I can't keep doing that because my kids are wanting to have a argument because that's what they do, or because they're whining because that's what they do, because they're crying, that's what they do. They're talking in the background, they're making a bunch of noise. They do all that stuff on purpose, right? So why am I getting all upset and frustrated when I know that that's what kids do? Even as far as not going to sleep, fighting to sleep at night, or um, having little attitude here and there. I mean, it's not okay, right? But we all have attitudes. As adult, we could just randomly not feel well. Maybe we're upset. Maybe we just shut down and got real quiet. Maybe we got sad. Who knows? The kids are doing the same thing. They're going through it too. And I really think it's worse for them because they can't express themselves like they want to because they're afraid that their parents are going to get mad at them for saying what they want to say, especially when they get to a certain age. Hey, 1B, 1B. So, um, just realizing the kids are just going to be kids. The behavior, knowing that they're going to be them, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to go find something to do. I'm just going to ignore, right? Because they're not really doing anything wrong. And it just depends on their age. All this is based on how old are they. It just depends. So once we realize that this is normal, then we're going to realize how to cope with it, how to not let it drive us crazy. So, for instance, if you have a girl who likes to roll her eyes, like It's not okay. I mean, how many times in my past did I roll my eyes at my mom and she was like, roll your eyes at me again. I'm going to knock them in the back of your head or whatever, right? Knock your eyes in the next week or however they used to say. But it's actually normal behavior. I looked at today'sparent.com and there's a psychologist on there. There's a couple of psychologists that actually they say that eye rolling is normal. And we don't want to see it because, you know, we know that they're not supposed to be doing that. I'm the parent. You're not supposed to be sassy like that, right? But if we put it into perspective, the fact that they're a little person just like I'm an adult with some type of emotion going on right now, whatever that might be, I probably would have rolled my eyes too. I probably just would not have let my mom see it, right? So just knowing that that's normal. And then you can even give them a warning right after that. I know you're upset, but I just, no, wait. I would say, not, I know you're upset because obviously you're upset. You're rolling your eyes. I saw you roll your eyes. That's not okay. Now, don't get yourself in trouble now. There's a warning. And they're going to take heed to it. They're going to say, okay, let me stop. Let me make sure I'm not. Hey, Miss B. I'm going to catch up with y'all just 1 second here. I just didn't want to lose where I was going. Um, so it's normal. Once you just realize that that behavior is normal, it just makes everything else just so much easier. Just blowing things out of proportion. The fact that you are the child and I am the parent and this and this and that is you're gonna blow your head gasket because they are little human beings at the end of the day. And we got to keep ourselves motivated, right? We got to keep ourselves uplifted and ready to conquer whatever our kids bring because that's what they do. That's just normal. But now we know how to deal with it, and now we can motivate ourselves and continue to motivate ourselves so that we can keep pouring into our kids because they need it. They need it, y'all. This channel was created so that we can motivate ourselves to keep ourselves feeling great in such a way that we can pour that into our kids and keep pouring that into our kids because they are the next generation. Is what it is. They're going to carry on your name, your family legacy, your business, your YouTube, your whatever. Even if it's just having your home, maybe you're going to pass your home to your kids. And maybe you got neighbors, and neighbors have been there for 50 some years, and they know you and they know them. And let's just say you gone, maybe you done moved and you done downsized or something, and the kids have moved on into this house that you built, this empire that you built for them. And these neighbors, now the kids that moved in and they trash in the yard, they blasting the music, they being crazy and disrespectful. Well, the neighbors are like, oh my, right? Is that the person that you raised? Now they're gonna show up and make you look bad. All because I was too busy to tune into what they were doing. I was too busy to, calm down, know my triggers, give them some warnings, pull myself back in before I lose control. And I was yelling and I was screaming and but on the outside, to the neighbors, it looked like we had a perfect little family. And that's true. But on the inside, we going crazy. And now all that's gonna spill out once they done got grown and get out into this world. They're gonna get to showing out. So let me catch up with y'all comments real quick. Um, we're all farmers in another person's life. We can plant seeds or weeds. Seeds are the good things, and weeds are the bad things. What are you gonna plant? Amen. Yep. My brother said, Amen. So my mom would say so. My mom would say she gonna make them get stuck that way if I don't fix my face. Right, the things they do now is upfront and rude. They, in my opinion, have no respect. I did lots behind my mom's back because I knew she meant that slap. Yeah, facts. And at eventually, I'm gonna get to the proper way to discipline your kids because we've all had the slap, the switch, the whatever I can get my hands on. You got me messed up type of whooping. But nowadays, we got to be careful, and I don't think people know that. I don't think the generation, that generation behind us, I don't think they really know that. I think they out here just wilding out like this is my kid, and they disrespected me, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and it could be very dangerous. But then you have some like me. I was just very lenient. I was too lenient, to where my oldest got away with a lot. And at some point, she thought that she was untouchable. She thought she wasn't going to be disciplined, right? But until I got my mind right, until I switched, what I'm saying, switched what I'm doing here and made it make sense, now she's showing up so much different. And it doesn't always take, okay, slap across the face. Or I seen a lady, the little kid was running, they was outside playing. The little bitty boy might have been about 1 years old. He gets to running down the street. She runs after him, and you would run and pick him up, right? So he doesn't get hurt. This lady picks this boy up by his leg. She starts whoop dangling him up around the air. At the same time, she's yelling at him. You don't run away from me. You don't run out into the street and da 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 da. I mean, I see people, you know, swing the kids around and things like that. That's different. They're laughing and stuff. This little boy, he had the look of fear on his face, like he was gonna die. And it was bad because it was a young mother, and she thought it was cute to do that to her son instead of teaching him. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to discipline, yeah, it's definitely a touchy subject for me because I see so much. I stay in the house, but I see so much. um let's see, make sure I didn't miss. I must remember children are like sponges. They'll soak up everything they see. Younger children don't have an emotional filter, the ability to deal with emotions. Older children need directions in. Yep, we must remember we are the builders of our children's emotional foundation. I'm not going to run around slapping these big old kids. Their mouths are foul. we, yeah, right. These days, these kids fighting their teachers, they're going to turn around and try to hit their parent. My God. Oh, I hope not. And there's so many of them out there like that. Ugh, you know, that's a topic to have. That just made me think of something. Have you ever, as a parent, have you ever had to, you have older kids, you got teenagers, you got grown people, right? They did something to where you had to get at them, right? Have you ever felt afraid that they were going to come, that they was going to hit you back? Or do you know what I'm saying? Because in the world that we are in today, it's just so scary. These kids are, they copying off their peers, they watching stuff and da 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 da. Do you fear that that child is going to come back and try to hit you back? That is definitely going to be a topic of discussion one day. Um, I can say sometimes I react quickly because of the fear of how fast the little ones are. Then explain it to him. It's constant. They are real quick. Mm, the little ones are quick. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And so you got to react quickly, right? Okay. So disrespectful to teachers. I feel so bad. Yep. I think that's another topic of discussion. Um, the teacher and the child was wrong. If my phone was taken away back in the day, it would have just been in the drawer until the end of the day or the end of the school year, from what I remember. And that is what it is because I was on my phone. Like, look, I better not go home and tell my mama my teacher took my phone because my mama gonna cuss me out and beat me down, right? Why you take your phone to school? Why you own it, right? But no, this girl thought that she was bad enough. Like that just shows you It makes me wonder, who are her parents? You know, who is raising this child? What makes you think that you can just go up to an adult and do that? And for the teacher to fight back, I mean, ooh, hmm, I don't know about fighting back. Maybe putting her in some type of restraint. Yeah, I know it could be frustrating and crazy because she didn't hit you in the face and embarrassed you and did all this and that, but I would have put that child in some type of restraint. Um, I seen one kid fight her teacher that would never work when I was coming up. Right. Yes, Miss B. These kids. Bye, Mama. Love you. Okay, love you too. Yes, Miss B. These kids be bullying the teachers, parents, siblings, and then they try to claim to be victims just because they can't do whatever they want. Right. They gang up on the teachers, and of course, these teachers don't want to deal with it. So, what type of education can they receive? Right. That's why they ain't. Yeah. Between the teachers not getting paid enough money and getting bullied by their students. Like, let's talk about the teachers being bullied. That's crazy. Like, kids learn boundaries from their parents. If there are no boundaries set, consequences for their actions, what kind of society are we going to have when we don't follow rules? Boom. Because that's what they're doing. They're running amok in this world, honestly. I'm glad I don't discipline Naya the way I was raised. I couldn't imagine hitting her the way I got hit. Right. These kids run on the table in class and stuff. Yeah, that's because they parents. It's their parents, right? That's a perfect example of what I was saying. We out here not they out here not we they they not paying attention to their kids. They're just letting them get away with things. They're so quick to yell at them like, I'm your mama, you better listen to me. But no, like, what if they had some type of day at school? What if you got a kid who likes to sit in the back of the class and really does want to learn, and they just sitting there and they are surrounded by kids who are screaming at the teacher, throwing paper balls, jumping on the table, da 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 da. And then they come home and they a little snappy, they a little on edge, and you're like, why are you? I'm your parent. You don't snap at me. Da, da, da. But this poor child just had to go to school and deal with all those crazies, right? It's crazy. Worse than that too. Yeah. We need consequences. That's how you function in society, by us all following rules for safety. Consequences don't always mean hitting, by not letting them be the leader. Amen. That's true. Then parents go to school acting a monkey just like their child. Yeah. Yep. And they really just embarrass themselves because the teacher's is looking like, what? Is this why they act that way? Hot mess. But yeah, y'all, we've been here about 30 minutes. It is. About to go over here and see what Frugal Mama got going on. The bullying is also out of control, sissy. Let's spend the day here. Good topic. Oh, okay. The bullying is also out of control. Amen. I'm writing this down because that's why I like when we talk, when you guys talk back to me, because we come up with ideas, you know it or not. This is real life stuff, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what's really going on in the world. So let's go ahead and get up out of here, and I will see you very soon. What's today? Wednesday. Uh, I got something. I got a video dropping later, but otherwise, thank you so much. Great talk. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, my fifth grade teacher, she didn't enforce discipline. She let the scumbag control the class. I got beat up a lot. I'm sorry about that, Kenneth. Uh, I just thank God for keeping you safe and for pulling you through on that situation, for you to be here to talk about it today, because whether you know it or not, it's a testimony. It has definitely made you stronger. I know how great of a person you are. So stay well, everybody. Stay blessed. I will see you soon. Stay humble, stay encouraged, and stay you. That's it. That's all. As always, remember, be true to yourself. Because if you can't be true to yourself, you can't be true to nobody else. Bye bye.